Once upon a time, in a magnificent city ruled by a wise king named King Nasser, life flowed peacefully, and everyone lived in peace and prosperity. This king was known for his justice and wisdom, but he also suffered from the pressures of managing the kingdom's affairs. He had a royal jester named the Hunchback, or Silly, who was capable of bringing joy to the king's heart after a long day of work. The Hunchback, famous for his playful spirit and comical movements, would tell stories and jokes that made everyone in the palace laugh. He was loved not only by the king but by all the courtiers. Silly lived a life full of entertainment, but fate held a strange and unexpected adventure in store for him. One day, after Silly finished his performance for King Nasser and the court, a wealthy merchant named Hakim approached him. Hakim was one of the city's prominent merchants, possessing immense wealth, and was known for his love of humor and the company of cheerful people. The merchant said to the Hunchback with a wide smile, "Silly, you were wonderful as usual. What do you say to the honor of dining at my house tonight? I have a feast that will make you forget all your worries." Silly, known for his love of good food, accepted the invitation without hesitation. He knew that the merchant Hakim and his wife Layla served the best food in the city, so he was delighted by the invitation. When they arrived at the merchant's house, the merchant's wife, Layla, greeted him with great warmth. The house was adorned with the finest furniture, and the table was exquisitely prepared. They sat around the table, which was laden with delicious dishes, roasted meat, fresh vegetables, fragrant soup, and tempting desserts. But the main dish was the large grilled fish that Layla had carefully prepared. During dinner, Silly began to tell his stories and jokes, which made the merchant and his wife laugh heartily. The atmosphere was filled with joy and merriment, and Silly noticed how much the merchant and his wife appreciated every word he said. Unintentionally, Silly began to eat voraciously, especially the delicious fish, which had a special flavor. While he was eating, Silly swallowed a small bone that got stuck in his throat. He tried to cough it out, but his attempts failed. Suddenly, his face began to turn blue, and he could no longer breathe. Within seconds, the Hunchback fell to the ground motionless. Layla and her husband Hakim were shocked, standing frozen in terror. They thought the Hunchback had died, but what increased their panic was their high social standing and their fear of the severe consequences they might face if they were accused of killing the king's jester. Hakim knew that any mishandling of the situation could lead to King Nasser's wrath, and perhaps even to the loss of his own life. Layla said in a trembling voice, "What shall we do now? If people find out Silly died in our house, they'll accuse us of killing him." The merchant sat on the ground, holding his head in his hands, then said in a hushed voice, "We must get rid of the body before anyone finds out." The merchant and his wife thought for a while, and finally, Hakim proposed a bold idea. He said, "We will place the body in front of Dr. Mar's house. Everyone will think the Hunchback died due to a sudden illness, and the doctor will be responsible before the king." Although Layla was afraid of the consequences, she agreed to the plan because she saw it as the only way to avoid accusation. In the middle of the night, they carried the body and went out into the empty streets. They moved with extreme caution, sensing every movement around them, so that no one would notice them. When they reached the doctor's house, they placed the body in front of the door and then quickly fled, hoping their secret wouldn't be discovered. The next morning, Dr. Mar woke up to soft knocks on his door. When he opened the door, he was surprised to find the Hunchback's body lying on the ground. At first, he thought Silly had died due to a sudden illness or accident, so he carefully carried him inside. Mar was a wise man with a good reputation in the city. He began to examine the body carefully, but he found no clear signs indicating the cause of death. He felt perplexed, but decided to keep the body for a while before informing the authorities. While the doctor was contemplating how to act, a servant from the palace arrived with a message from King Nasser, requesting a medical prescription to treat the king's headache. When the servant entered and saw the Hunchback's body, he panicked and rushed back to the palace to inform the king. Rumors spread quickly through the city. Everyone began talking about the Hunchback's body, found in front of the doctor's house. The story reached the palace, and King Nasser immediately ordered a trial to uncover the truth behind the death of his favorite jester. In the court, people gathered to witness the intriguing case. The merchant Hakim and his wife Layla were present, as was Dr. Mar, and each began to tell their story of how the body came to them. The merchant began first, saying, "We invited Silly to dinner to honor him. While he was eating the fish, he choked and fell to the ground, dead. We were afraid of being accused of killing him, so we decided to place the body in front of the doctor's house. Then it was Dr. Marr's turn, who said, "When I found the body in front of my house, I thought the hunchback died due to a sudden illness. I knew nothing about his choking or how he ended up at my house." And as the judge prepared to deliver the verdict, the biggest surprise occurred. Suddenly, the hunchback began to stir on the ground. He coughed violently, dislodged the fishbone from his throat, and then sat up amidst the astonishment of those present. He said in a broken voice, "What's happening here? Where am I?" Everyone in the hall burst into laughter. Even King Nasser, who had been angry at first, laughed heartily when he realized that what had happened was just a big misunderstanding. The judge realized that no one was responsible for the hunchback's death, so he declared everyone pardoned. The hunchback returned to the palace to continue entertaining the king and his courtiers, but this time he learned an important lesson: don't eat fish quickly. For several days, the amusing incident that could have led to a disaster was the talk of the town. From that day on, the story of the hunchback became one of the most amusing and wise tales, teaching people that a misunderstanding can turn into a valuable lesson, and that forgiveness can be the best solution.